Hey now.
Did it go? Okay. Wait,
Yeah. Welcome back to
all right.
Cosmos and Commerce, where we explore the intersection of purpose, people, and the entrepreneurial spirit that drives our communities forward. I'm Janis, a realtor here in Central Ohio, and I'm joined, as always, by my co host, Michele, owner of Body Escape Wellness Center. Today's guest is someone who took a simple act of love and turned it into a movement. In 2018, Jo Welsh and her husband Tim founded Bottoms Up Diaper Drive right here in Lancaster, Ohio. What started as a small scale effort to help struggling families has grown into one of the most impactful nonprofits in our region, delivering over 6 million diapers to 92 partners such as food pantries and childcare facilities across 37 Ohio counties. Here's a stat that'll stop you in your tracks. 1 in 2 American families struggles to afford enough diapers to keep their baby clean, dry, and healthy. 1 in 2, that's half, right? I mean, that's half.
Yep.
And 3 in 5 parents have missed work or school because they couldn't afford diapers to leave their child in childcare. That's not just a diaper problem, that's an economic crisis hiding in plain sight. Jo built something remarkable with a staff of 4, multiple warehouse locations, and a signature annual event called the World's Largest Diaper Drive every May. She is proof that passion plus a plan can change the world one diaper at a time. Jo, welcome to Cosmos and Commerce. We're so honored to have you.
Yes, I'm thrilled to be
Yay.
here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
Jo, take us
Oh, here
back.
we go.
Here we go. Here's the questions.
Yeah.
Take us back to 2018. What was the exact moment that you and Tim said, we're actually doing this? Was there a single story or a family that lit the match?
Well, the single story is that we were about to celebrate our 40th wedding anniversary, and Tim thought it'd be a great idea to ask our family and friends for a box of diapers for each year that we'd been married. So that would have been 40 boxes, and we got about 80 delivered to our front porch. And he thought, let's just keep doing this. So that was it. I had no idea what I was getting into when I said yes to this, but that was what was kind of the impetus of it. He's always worked in women's health, pregnancy centers, and things like that. So he knew the need for diapers, which I didn't really understand as much as he did. But that was kind of where that idea sparked the whole bottoms up movement, if you will.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This was just your guys' own idea. There was no other like company like it. It just was like, this is our idea. We're doing it.
Well, there are other diaper banks, and there are 2 other ones in Columbus, which, we're not far from Columbus, but we decided we would deliver diapers, which is something different from the other diaper banks. We're
Yeah.
probably one of just a handful across the US that deliver diapers to their partners. And my husband's a big thinker, so I'm kind of in the weeds operation kind of person. And he's like, let's be the world's largest. Let's get a van. Let's get 2 vans. And I'm always like, how are we going to do that? So, I'm always worrying about the how, and he's just dreaming big. So that's how this works for us.
Yeah. That sounds like a great partnership. You need like kind of both
Most
sides.
days. Most days.
Yeah.
How many vans do you have now?
We have 5.
Wow.
And yeah, we also have a covered trailer that we take to we just take to pick up diapers because sometimes our big vans aren't enough, so we have a trailer. And then it also gives us the ability to leave it. For instance, there's a school up in Dublin, St. Bridget of Kildare. They do a diaper drive for an entire week, and we were leaving just a friend had a trailer, and we'd park it there, and they load it up all week. And last year we were fortunate enough to be able to get a trailer with our that's branded that says Bottoms Up all over it. So we've got that now to park at the school and kind of remind people that this really is a thing. This is not a hobby.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You describe Bottoms Up as an outgrowth of your faith, your love for each other, and your desire to serve. How do those three things show up in the way you run the organization day to day?
Oh golly. Well, we do this together every day, and I can't say that we show each other love every day when we're working. Full disclosure.
So it's
We get a
typical
little
marriage.
snippy. We get a little snippy from time to time, but just our desire to help other people. I mean, we that's how we were raised. Just to help people just a little bit, just that mom that just needs help just this one time maybe, or single mom just really struggling to make it day to day, maybe working one or two jobs that don't pay that great, and trying to keep it all together. So when I think about those moms and even dads, I got a call yesterday from a young dad, and he was looking for diapers. And, that keeps me going. It keeps reminding me of why I do this, why we do this, because, you can get into the business side of it, which is raising money and buying diapers and all the other, kind of day to day that you kind of forget why you're doing it. Right. So, that's probably it's it it's gonna be hard to step away just for because of that help, at some point. And obviously, looking at me, I'm not getting younger, unfortunately, but anyway, I'll have to retire, have to hang up my diaper one of these days.
Hmm.
For another type of diaper, maybe. I don't know.
Do you do adult diapers too, or just babies?
Just baby diapers. Just baby diapers. People want us to do adult diapers, but when you're raising money, my husband always says it's easier to raise money when you think about a baby in a diaper than you can for maybe an old man or an old lady in a diaper.
Yeah.
Or just stay in
It
one
may not,
lane.
yeah, just we'll stay here.
Yeah,
This works. And
I get it.
yeah. Hmm.
Well, if you think about babies, it's like they didn't make any choices to end up how they did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you co-found something with your spouse, the business relationship and the marriage are constantly overlapping. I share a business with my husband, so I understand that part. What has
Hmm.
taught you about communication, trust, and knowing your lanes? How you have decided to divvy up the business tasks?
Yeah, I guess I touched on this a little bit ago. He is very
Yeah.
much the creator. He designs. He's always got big ideas. And we always tease him in the office because he always exaggerates the numbers because we've been saying we have 30, we're in 37 counties now. And, he's always like, how many counties? And so now we've agreed to say we're in nearly 40 because he's always exaggerating it anyway, so we might as well just say it. But
Yeah.
it is I can stay in my lane because he does all the fundraising. He's the one that's the biggest piece of what we do. I mean, half and half, but he does all of that. So I'm clearly in my own lane in that regard, but he does like to come over and, into my lane and kind of tell me how to do the operation piece. So when we started, I was the one delivering all the diapers. He did it for a while, and then I stepped up and took over all the diaper delivery. So I've it's kind of in my blood to do it. So I get a little bit snippy when he wants to help me on that because I feel like I know what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it is a
Good.
communication thing, and just being able to say, okay, you're driving me a little crazy right now. So I don't do that very well, though.
So would you say that there was like a time where you were like, okay, it's like small, but let's make it huge? Was there like one moment where you were like, I really see this becoming like the world's largest, or what did it just naturally transition to that?
Yeah, it's all been organic. It's just grown over time, and that's really kind of the best way we can handle it from a financial aspect. And of course, Tim would love to be, the world's largest, but probably not going to have time for that in our lifetime. But it's grown organically. I mean, as soon as someone hears that you're giving away something of value, they come to your door. It really hasn't been hard, but we've been able to say no, we can't bring you on at this time. We need to wait a little bit more time. It's not like selling something where
Yeah.
you can make more money. You have to raise more
Yeah.
money to do that. So it's grown slowly. Well, I don't know, in almost 8 years from what I'm talking about. Doesn't sound slow, does it? Nearly 40 counties and 92
Pretty,
partners. And
pretty big.
last year we did 1.6, a little over 1.6 million diapers we gave out just last year.
It's
Wow.
wild.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
kind of hard to
diapers.
believe.
Yeah.
Do you have to
Yeah.
qualify the people that get the free diapers, or do you just do the food pantries, or how do you figure out who to give them to?
Yeah, we designed it just we would work with partners, food pantries,
Okay.
childcare centers.
And they figure
And
it out.
just because we didn't want the burden of vetting everyone.
Mhm.
Mm.
And those partners that we have, we do ask them to fill out an application now. We do some vetting. They have to be a 501(c)(3). They have to have
Mhm.
a brick and mortar location. So we have some must-haves,
Mhm.
and we don't just don't bring them on kind of willy-nilly. We just have to see where they are, who they're serving. Is there someone close by that is also serving that we're partnering with? So there is some vetting that goes on early on. I mean, if people call me and they sounded nice, I'm like, sure, we'll give you diapers. But now
Mm.
that it's so big, we just really have to be careful, when you're trying to raise the money to keep those things going. So does that make sense?
Mhm. Yep.
Mhm. It sure does. Okay. You're operating warehouses in 4 cities, right? Lancaster, Columbus, Chillicothe, and Portsmouth, with a
Yes.
staff of just 4 people?
Yes. Three and a
Okay.
half, actually.
3 and a
Three and a
half.
Three and a
half.
half.
How do you manage that kind of geographic scale, with such a lean team?
Well, um, it's our volunteers. So
Yeah.
in each one of our counties okay, so in Lancaster, we have a warehouse here, and we have volunteers that come here to our warehouse, pick up diapers in our van and take them and deliver them. So the same kind of thing, we kind of have hubs. So there's a hub in Columbus, which is a big, huge warehouse. And same thing there. We have volunteers that go there, pick up the van, load it up, take them out and deliver, and then deliver the van back to the warehouse in Columbus. So each hub has its own kind of flavor. I mean, warehouse in Portsmouth is one of those containers that you see, just
Mhm.
those freestanding containers. That's
Mhm.
what it is in Portsmouth. Chillicothe, it's a school that they don't use as a school anymore, and we have big space in there. Columbus is a real warehouse, because we have to have a ability for a semi truck to back up to a building, and that's why we have that big warehouse there. And then Lancaster, we have a smaller warehouse here, but still a lot of everything that goes south comes out of Lancaster, basically. South and west and east, I guess. a lot goes on out of Lancaster, just because it's easier to control, and we know a lot more people here for volunteers. So to answer your question, that was a long answer to volunteers.
How
Okay.
many volunteers do you have?
During the world's largest diaper drive, we have about 100
Mm.
on the ground working for us. So that is, we have to pick up diapers, we have to count diapers, store them, rewrap them, because we do take open packages of diapers or boxes if
Mm.
if they're not dirty, soiled, or dusty, and have cat hair on them or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people won't take
um
open boxes of things.
yeah, yeah, we
Mm.
do, and our volunteers go through all of those and then repackage and put our branding on it.
Mhm.
And so we have a lot. We have a big need for that. And if we get a donated, like a semi truck load of diapers, which would be about 250,000 diapers, and we need a lot more people just to help with that. And
Yeah.
that's when, we get a church group or somebody that reaches out from a business that says, "Hey, you got anything that we can do?" That's when we can use a big bunch of people. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Have any high school
yeah.
kids getting college or
Yeah.
NHS and Honor Society? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We do use them. It's so funny. They all want that time and that credit, but
Mm.
you have to be able to meet them at, like, from 3:15 till
Oh,
4:15, or
yeah,
they're
there's
very
limited.
specific
Right, that's true.
because they're so busy. I mean, I wasn't that busy when I was in high school doing all the stuff. I wasn't in National Honor Society, let me just say that. So it's just
Oh,
so different now.
I can't believe it.
It's different. They all want all that stuff to put on their college app or whatever, and but they don't have the time to really do it. So when you get a really good high school volunteer, and it's gold.
Cherish them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you work with 92 partners, community partners, food
Yep.
pantries, childcare centers, domestic violence shelters, recovery
Mhm.
centers.
Yeah.
We kind of maybe touched on this, how you vet and onboard a new partner. What does that
Mhm.
actually look like other than like just a form they fill out?
Yeah. We first of all, we like to have a conversation with them, but we've changed a little. We've evolved that a little bit. So if someone reaches out, it's usually through our website or email. They've heard about us,
Mhm.
and then we send them an application right away.
Mhm.
And that way we can get stats on the number of people they serve, what zip codes they're in, and just kind of what their program looks like, and get a kind of a feel for that. And then we like to do an on-site visit before we bring them on, just to see what their program's like, what kind of get to know them a little bit. And we've always stressed that we expect them to be good stewards of what we're giving them, because
Mhm.
up until this year, we've never asked our partners to contribute financially to us. And we like to be sure that they're giving, that they're doing the right thing. So
Yeah.
we're giving them something free, and really they give us something nominal that we don't demand you give us X amount of dollars for X amount of diapers. But we just say at some point we'd like for you to contribute back to us, and that can be in the form of them doing their own diaper drive, and
Mm.
keeping the diapers, that kind of thing. But and then we meet with them, and then we kind of set it up, when how often we're going to deliver. And typically it starts out, we deliver to them once a month, and then as we kind of work with them and see how their process is, what kind of um community partners they're going to be, then we move that up to 2 times a month instead of once a
Mhm.
month. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit of an evolution. It was a lot more kind of loosey goosey when I was just doing it at first, because we didn't have an application. But we do have a memorandum of understanding we ask them to sign, and ask them to just honor us if they're putting things on social media, let people know what we're doing
Mhm.
so we can, the word can spread, not so much to get more partners, but just for people to know that these diapers just aren't falling out of the sky, that it is a thing.
Yeah.
Have
So,
you ever
The
had to let
nonprofit
a partner oh, sorry, I have a
No, go
interjection.
ahead, follow up, go ahead.
Have you ever had to let a partner go because they broke their word?
yes, it's not easy either, because ultimately it's the babies that suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not our partners or even the mom, it's the baby. And if you can think about a baby sitting in a dirty diaper for an entire day, that leads to diaper rash,
Mhm,
UTIs, all
mhm.
kinds of issues that affects this little child.
Yeah,
So we had just one that we had to say, we're going to rethink this, because it became they had multiple locations and it was becoming overwhelming,
mhm.
and it there were other people in those areas that we're serving. So we did have to let that go, but it didn't hurt us, of course, but we we meet with them when we think there's a problem, and then we adjust.
Yeah.
We all get back on board, because there's turnover in these
Mhm.
pantries or childcare centers. So then you have to retrain the person that's handling the diapers, and so they understand, this isn't just for you to take home and help out, your neighbors. This is,
Yeah.
this is a business, and we're going to run it that way. So,
Right.
um, we don't really, in 8 years, we've had to kind of cut ties with one, but generally people
Are sincere.
are trying to, they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we
Great.
work with them for sure.
Yeah. Well, good. So nonprofits can live or die by their volunteer base. What's your strategy for recruiting, retaining, and energizing volunteers so that they come back year after year? Assuming that a lot of them come back every year, but then you got some new ones coming in too.
Yeah, it's funny, as Tim and I get older, we know a lot of people that are retiring.
Mhm.
And we like to tease Tim that he recruits people at funeral homes because we go there a lot.
No.
And
He looks
like
like
a
he's
year or so
gonna do.
ago, his cousin's wife passed away, and he's talking with David, his cousin, about coming to work for Bottoms Up. I'm like, you're shameless, recruiting at a funeral home, and it's his wife who died. I mean, come on.
He's like, "You got a
So
lot
did
of
he
free
come?
time on your hands now."
Did he come work? Did he come go?
So he's not afraid to ask. I'm not either. When I talk to people, if they love what we do, I always invite them at least ride along with one of our drivers and see what we do, and see the work that is going into it, and definitely come on board. So we're constantly asking. We have Rachel, who works for us, has a whole onboarding program, and she has a that she has folks come in, and we give them t-shirts and to get them on their way, and kind of figure out what they like to do, and maybe what they've done their entire career they don't want to do. We have one of our great drivers. We wanted to put him in charge of kind of our fleet, and he says, that's what I did my whole career for 35 years. I don't want to do that anymore. So he just wants to drive the van and deliver diapers. He doesn't want to have to be in charge of caring for them. And so you just never know, if somebody
Mhm,
has a skill, they may be tired of doing that. So
mhm.
I
we
saw one
kind
of
of,
your
Okay, so you have to purchase roughly half of the diapers that you distribute. How do you balance the budget between donated inventory and purchasing at bulk rates, and what financial discipline has kept you sustainable?
well, we raise money. My husband, I say we, but it's the royal we. right? But so we raised a lot of money, and the reason we started the World's Largest Diaper Drive, which we trademarked, and I can tell you that story, but um, we started it with the it's a thing through the Lancaster Chamber, and they have this program where it's I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, and we wanted them to do a diaper drive, and they wanted to collect 250,000 diapers, and so this thing got blown up really big the first year. Our goal was 250,000 and we went to 350 or over 350,000. Everybody got on board. It was exciting and fun. And the next year our goal was 500,000 and we went over that again. So we're kind of holding at over 1 million because that just sounds good. That sounds good, right? Like a
Sounds
million.
really
What does
good.
that look
Yeah.
like? It's about 4 truckloads of diapers. So, and in those diaper drives, we never know what we're gonna get. So, a lot of times we get the smaller sizes, right? Because everybody thinks baby, so we're getting a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s when in fact our biggest need are 4, 5, and 6
Those
sizes.
are more toddler sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And kids are in those diapers longer because by the time they're 1, they could be in a size 4. And then for 2 years until they're potty trained, theoretically, they are in those bigger sizes. So and they're more expensive. You get fewer in the box, bag, whatever. So that's our biggest need. So typically our World's Largest Diaper Drive, that sustains us for an entire year with those smaller sizes.
Mm.
Wow.
So the bigger sizes are
Yeah.
what we need to buy.
I
You
could
do
see
the
that
That's
pull-ups,
too.
like the training pants,
the pull-ups.
the pull-ups.
We get a lot of those, but again, we don't buy those. We promise
Yeah.
our partners we'll do size 1 through 6.
Yeah.
That's what we guarantee our partners. And then if we have pull-ups or wipes, smaller, tiny sizes, newborn, yeah, we'll give them to them, but we don't promise them.
Yeah.
So
I could see
kind of
that
those
people
things
would
we look
probably
at.
get those diapers at a baby shower or something too, the smaller sizes. Whereas the bigger ones, they
Yes.
might not.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge
Yeah.
baby shower gift, diaper trees and all that. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we do take those, when baby outgrows or whatever, we'll take them and repackage and get them back out to a mom. We've had this stockpile of size 1s for a while, so we've been able to kind of move those through like community baby showers and things like that. So, but it just takes a lot of fundraising to pull off all the diapers that we need every year. So,
Do you take cloth diapers as well?
no,
Nope, just
no.
disposables. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people ask me that. And what we found is that the moms we help don't have stable
They may not even
lives.
have a washer dryer, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't wash those in a laundromat. They don't allow that.
I didn't know
So
Oh.
that.
you have,
Hmm.
yeah, I thought they would too. And maybe when I was doing it back in the day,
Yeah.
um, I may have had to go to the laundromat. But could you imagine? I mean, some moms may not even have transportation.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to meet them where they are at this point.
Yeah.
There are young moms that use the cloth, but they're expensive, and then the washing.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember
so.
rinsing them out in the toilet and popping. Yeah.
Yeah,
All that
yeah,
fun stuff.
no. Who wants to go back to that?
Yeah, right?
People usually it's so funny, and I'll say this, and I'll hope I don't offend anybody, but it's always men that have like this romantic notion of washing diapers at home.
Ah,
But
until they have to do it,
oh,
right?
100%. Like, oh, my mom used to do it. Mom, I remember mom hanging them on the line. I'm like, yeah, that's because you weren't doing it.
Yeah.
It seems like a great idea,
Yeah.
right?
When I had my daughter, they gave me 3 months of diaper service for free, and they were the cloth
Uh-huh.
diapers, and they came and they
Yeah.
smelled so good, like powder. I don't know what they
Yeah.
used, and they gave
Yeah.
a hamper and all that, and I just had to, like,
Mhm.
rinse them out, throw them in there, and stick it on the curb, and then they brought me new
Yeah.
diapers, and that was,
Oh,
like,
wow.
I think 3 months worth was free,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
hopes that I would continue the diaper service at that time.
Sure.
And I did for
Yeah.
a while. That back we were
Yeah.
talking about this, in the very beginning before we started. The disposable diapers weren't that great in 1975
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a
I
great
had the
marketing that segues me into the next question.
Yeah,
That, intro to the diaper service was a
into
great
marketing.
marketing technique,
There we go.
and, something you said earlier, Joe, was that people just get it that, um, you don't have to really convince anyone that diapers are needed. So,
Mhm.
what is it about your mission that makes it so immediately resonant, and what can other business owners learn from how you clearly communicate your why? It's a great marketing technique to know your why so well and that it's easy to
Yeah,
remember.
exactly. Yeah. We work on that a lot, our why. When
Yeah.
I go out to speak in front of groups, I it's my speaking thing has evolved, of course, but you're kind of instinctively you want to tell everybody the stats, right? How many diapers, da 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 da, and I do that. But to start out with why, and the why is because there is a mom just within a few blocks of where I'm sitting that doesn't have enough diapers, and maybe her baby's sitting in a wet soiled diaper from yesterday. So that's the why, to help that mom, just that one mom. If I just think I'm helping that one mom, that one dad, that one family, just a little bit, that's really my why.
So, to help other business owners with their why, just think about the person they're helping, would you say?
Yeah, I yeah, and for profit, I guess it's a little bit different, but still, I think you can still break it down. Kind of talking about my speaking engagement kind of thing. I've kind of evolved in many directions, but lately I've been just talking about that ripple effect of what you do in life. No matter what, whether you're talking to someone like we're talking here, maybe you talk to maybe just a child that you see, or somebody in the grocery, and we've all heard these things. It's nothing, I didn't create this idea, but it's just that ripple of how, um, when you throw a rock in a puddle or a pond, you can see the ripples and it goes way out. And that's how I like to think about bottoms up, is that, we throw a pebble in a pond and it goes out, and I may not know or ever see the people that I'm helping, but I know that I am. And I think when you're in any kind of business, I feel like you have to have some kind of a why, or some kind of an idea of how you're helping others.
Mm,
Because in my that's just my whole philosophy, helping others. And I know you two have that same philosophy. I mean, you both do, you create organizations which are fabulous, and but you're really doing it for others. With
Yeah.
Michelle, I mean, you employ people and you get them on their career path, and Janice with your humble crate, and with a realtor, look at you. You're making many ripples with getting people on their way in their homes. So I feel like you can always find something to grab a hold of that is some way you're making a difference in someone's life.
yeah, yeah.
Is that Does that make sense?
Yes, that's great.
Look how many people they brought things to you.
Yeah.
They had a craft or an
Yeah,
idea or a product, and how
yeah,
you helped them, and the ripple that went out from what they made at your place? I mean,
A lot of them
the
stayed with
ripples are endless.
yeah. A lot of them
Yeah.
stayed with the girl that took over, and, so they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
still
you
doing
made a difference in 70 vendors' lives.
Yeah. 70? That's amazing. Plus all the
I think
look
at
at all
one
the
time
ripples.
at one time I had that. I'll have to count to see how many, like, all together, but at one
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
I'd have, over 70 at one time, and then anyway.
But you had others in and out.
Yeah.
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 Back to you,
Okay.
Joe.
Okay. So you collect diapers through churches, schools, businesses, and civic organizations.
Mm.
How do you approach a business sponsor for the first time? What's your pitch, and what do businesses get out of the partnership beyond good PR?
Hmm. So I guess kind of the same thing as what I
Okay.
was just saying. Just a lot of people don't understand that there's no government money for diapers. A lot of people don't get that. And in business, people probably have no idea about that. Churches are a real easy touch because they're there to serve people. Businesses are a little more difficult to think about a diaper drive, get them involved. It'd have to be, volunteering is the way to go with them. But just to explain that need, that simple thing that diapers are expensive. I mean, we pay about 17 cents a piece for our diapers, and in the store they can be 35, 45, 55 cents a piece. So just most people just don't understand the whole that there's no government help for that. Not that I think that government help is the right way to go, but there isn't any. And um just that moms just struggle to keep the diapers in the house. I remember knowing, and Janice, you might be able to chime in on this. I remember I always knew how many diapers I had
Oh,
till I
yeah.
had to go back to the store.
Yeah.
If I was taking my kids to daycare,
Oh, yeah.
I knew how many I had.
Yeah.
And you
And
think,
hope they
oh, I
don't
thought I
have the
had
extra accidents.
right.
Yeah.
Like I thought I had one more or two more in that bag over there, right?
Yeah.
And to live that way all the time
Mm,
is
Stressful.
it
Yeah.
it's very stressful. It's a struggle.
yeah.
And so for us just to help that mom, she didn't decide, she didn't decide this is how I'm going to live my life struggling, but this is the reality. So let's help her out a little bit. And so I don't have like an elevator pitch for it to answer your question, but it just rolls into our why, kind of why we do things, and just being able to help help a family out.
It's awesome. Social media, word of mouth, earned media. What has been your single most effective marketing channel, and what would you do differently from a visibility standpoint if you had to start over today?
Mm.
Good question. I think our the biggest way we got the message out was through our church family. So we're Catholic. So there's a really easy way to get a hold of people because there's a structure. Um, and we have access to email to all the churches that in the counties that we're in. So that's easy. But there are a lot more churches, a lot of different. But that's where we really see the biggest result where, a pastor or lead pastor, or somebody in the church says, let's get behind this. This is going to be our goal. Let's do it. People are motivated in those pews because that's what they're there for. That drives those people. Um, and so that's really been our biggest kind of piece. And then schools, grade schools, kids love it. I was at St. Bridget yesterday morning at their pep rally at their diaper kickoff rally, I should say, at 8:15 yesterday morning. and the whole school's there and they're singing and getting all excited about their diaper drive, and each grade has a different size that they're bringing in, and their goal is 26,000 diapers. Social media is hard to measure. You probably, both of you, get that. I mean, it's really hard to measure. It's good to get your message out, but you can't measure the results.
Yeah.
It's just difficult in marketing to measure. It's changed so much. Newspaper is not even a thing anymore.
Mhm.
Billboards, that's you just, there's so many things you can't measure that and it's pretty much word of mouth and getting out there and presenting what you're doing.
So
I don't
speaking
know
like
how.
one to many,
I'm sorry.
when you speak one to a lot is when you make the biggest difference in your
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what they get, then they, not that I'm all that, but when they get to
You
know
are.
you, one, when they realize that you're genuine. It's just not like a email or a phone call. When they can see me, ask me questions, that's really when it makes a difference. So
Yeah.
being present with people and letting them know that, kind of what touches you, and why you're doing what you're doing, your whole process, program, all that.
Yeah. When you ask donors for a donation, you ask them more so to go buy the diapers themselves rather than just write a check, right?
Yeah,
What's
we
the
do both.
reasoning for that? And how does that experience change a donor's relationship to your mission?
Well, a lot of times we ask that, like when we're doing a diaper drive, people say, "Why can't I give you money? You can buy more for than I can do." And
Yeah.
we always encourage them, please go to the grocery and walk down that aisle and price diapers. We want you to do that because
Mhm.
we want you to see that if I have to buy this box of that's cost $56 and I have to have cash, I can't use anything else.
Mhm.
How am I going to afford to maybe buy lunch for the kids tomorrow or for the weekend or whatever? It just resonates with people. Just go in there and walk down that aisle. Are you going to buy your baby the cheapest thing, or are you going to buy him the most expensive? Just to get a
Mm.
flavor of what's there. But we can certainly buy more diapers than you or anybody can, because we have this price opportunity through the National Diaper Bank Network.
Oh, nice.
But I
Yeah.
just like for people to see it, because as you grow
More
older,
perspective.
you're not in it, you forget,
You forget.
and
Yeah.
you just you assume they cost next to nothing, but they do.
They don't
And that and
anymore.
there's so
They
many
do not.
choices. There's so many choices too when you go
Yeah.
down the diaper aisle.
How
Yeah.
many diapers
And
does a baby go through a day?
about 6 to 10, depending on, and that's low, I think, for a newborn. I'm sure a new mom, she probably goes through 25 a day till she figures it out,
Little
right?
pea machines.
Um,
Uh,
they're
okay.
but as they get older, they're not going to the bathroom as much, after that first year, things slow
Mhm.
down a little bit. And
Yeah.
certainly when a child is 2 or 3, they're just not soiling the diaper as often, unless maybe they're sick or something. But still, you can't leave it on. If they're
Yeah.
dirty, you can't do
Yeah.
that. But so it's about 6 to 10 to
Okay.
Yeah.
answer your question.
So community impact in the bigger picture.
It's to you, Janice.
Uh, you talked earlier about the ripple effect here. When parents can't afford diapers, they miss work, Kids get sick, productivity drops. How do you connect those dots for donors and policymakers who might not see the full picture? Kind of touched on that just a second ago, like going down to the
Yeah.
grocery store.
Yeah. But it doesn't, and for even, I mean, if you talk to a politician or a donor, maybe that's doesn't understand the whole economics of it. It moms, if they can't leave their child at daycare because they don't have enough diapers, they're missing out on a day's work
Mhm.
or more. And then they're still behind, right? They still don't have diapers.
Yeah.
If they can't work, they can't make any money. And then what choices do they make? Do they leave their child at home with an older sibling, or, you know, these things that's reality. They're
Mhm.
going to figure out a way to get to work. Um, and when you think about a family not being able to go to work, I guess I have to be reminded of those stories because that was not my reality. But I remember struggling because we had 5 children. It wasn't like easy, but I don't recall going without something like the basics because I couldn't afford it. But
Mhm.
I figured out a way to do that. So that's what moms do. They figure out a way to do it, moms and dads.
Yeah, usually. So you
Yeah.
serve 37 counties. Is there a
Yes.
particular community or region where the diaper need has surprised you, or somewhere you didn't expect that the need might be as deep as it was?
Yeah. I would say Dublin, Ohio, and New Albany.
Uh,
Um, and there are some there I do have volunteers that I have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. I had a When we started delivering to New Albany, I the pantry manager there said, "Well, there are poor people in New Albany." And I'm like, "Okay." And they don't really need a lot there, but they serve anyone that's in the school district. So, there could be somebody just very close and be in the New Albany school district. So I was surprised by that. And I had a couple of volunteers like, I don't really like delivering diapers to New Albany. They had some pushback on it because it wasn't like South Columbus
yeah,
or Appalachia.
yeah.
It wasn't Scioto County. So, but I had to let them know that there is need there. It's
Mhm,
not great, but there is a little need there.
mhm,
And the same with Dublin. You think there isn't going to be a need there, but there are poor people everywhere, and maybe people that just have, maybe they lost a job, or
yeah,
their spouse lost a job, or
yeah,
maybe it's not forever, but there's still a need. So
yeah,
and we don't do a great deal in those areas, but we do serve. So yeah, that was kind of surprising to me.
yeah. So you've talked about helping mothers recognize the brightness of their future. How does receiving diapers, this very practical thing, change the emotional state and dignity of the families that you serve?
Oh, just giving them hope, I guess, just not having to um maybe just use a towel. I've heard of moms and grandmas just using a regular old house, a towel, bathroom towel, and a Kroger bag.
Mhm.
That doesn't really emanate like dignity for
Yeah,
them or their child. Like they have got to feel bad that they couldn't provide, and the child at some point is going to realize that mom and dad can't really give me everything I need. And these simple, basic, not simple, but basic needs. And I think it sounds silly, but a diaper can really, just relieve that burden, even if it's just for one day. Just
mhm,
give the family that feeling like, okay, I got I got this down now today. I'll have another thing tomorrow, probably
mm,
gas for my car or
mhm,
whatever,
mm.
there's always something for families that are living below the poverty line. There's always something, and giving them diapers just to help them a little bit
Yeah.
is just it does help.
Yeah. Diaper need is invisible in public conversation compared to food insecurity. How do you advocate for it to be taken seriously at a policy and community level?
That's a little more difficult because we have Tim has uh, talked in front of the Ohio Senate, and um, he didn't do it for the House, but there were bills that were the same, like to take the tax off of diapers
Hmm.
for food stamps. So that's why you can't buy diapers with food stamps, because it's a taxable item.
Right.
So you can't buy anything taxable with food stamps.
Right.
Oh.
So he testified before the Senate to say, this is what's happening. Moms need this. And so it was passed and signed by the governor, but I don't know where that is in the process. So
And
when you talk about policy, it could be signed by the governor, but where is it? How does that trickle down? How long does that take?
Hmm.
They Because it comes out of the budget. Budget money is involved there with the state. And then how long does it take for everyone to change their systems to accept this? How does that work? When they can't buy soda, but they could buy diapers, and they're both taxable. How do you know?
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with government, it's a little more, it's not quite as cut and dry as you'd want it to be. So I don't really
yeah,
have an answer for that, because it's uh
Well, you're
everybody
keeping
wants
the
to do
conversation
something.
going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And we try to. We're not political. We don't um get into like going to the state house and advocating and that kind of thing. There are people within the diaper bank network that do that a lot. It's just not That's not where we are. Just mostly because we don't really want government paying for it.
Mm.
I mean, we it's hard to advocate for government money, because then you can never cut government money. That's a whole nother, let's don't get into that right now. We
being a
cut that whole thing out,
yeah,
Michelle.
okay, I will. But I'm blown away that the food stamps don't cover diapers. Being a
Yeah.
landlord, we accept Section 8. I don't mind working with
Uh-huh.
them.
Yeah.
And some of
Uh-huh.
the applicants that I get, they say they make zero money. So I'm like, how would you even like pay for anything? Like how do you live if you make zero money? So
Well,
how would they
listen,
buy
Yeah. How does
diapers?
that work?
when
I
I
don't
was
know.
young, when I first had Jennifer, I was on
Well,
ADC for a little bit and I got food stamps for a little bit. And I think it was 8 months. I couldn't even afford like toothpaste. I mean, it was horrible. And I just hit the pavement and got a job. So it was like I don't know. I don't know how these people
Yeah.
live on that. You just can't afford
yeah.
anything.
I guess they get their
Yeah.
diapers from the diaper bank then. If they
Yeah.
can't get them.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe go to a
That
food pantry and get them or something. Or
yeah.
if they have kids in school that they're on a waiver, then if we give diapers to their childcare, they may get diapers for the day anyway.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm ignorant when it
Yeah.
comes
Oh,
to that,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
should
anymore
I
either.
should know. I should learn.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
in order to qualify for one of our houses, they have to have some sort of income somewhere, just in case.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So
I don't understand that.
yeah,
Go ahead.
we're gonna flip to the business side of things. And we're
Hmm.
gonna talk about let's talk about the hardest leadership decision you've ever had to make since founding Bottoms Up. What's one of those that has kept you up at night? Hard decision.
Just it's usually personnel things
Yes.
that are the hardest. Just having to, let someone go, that's very difficult because
Mhm.
you're trying to do good work so that you think, oh, if I get rid of this person, does that make me a bad person? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's kind of a weird thing, but personnel managing people by far is the hardest thing. I
I
I
agree.
I'll drive I'll drive diapers all day long, but when you have to manage people, it's difficult. And Tim and I do a lot of um just not studies, but we're in different groups and Christian business leadership, and it always has to come down to being the servant leader, right? Because you think if you're the leader, you're not going to be doing some things. But in fact, you're doing all the things because you're leading by
Yeah.
example and being a servant leader, right? So it's yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. That has been the most difficult for me still after 16 years of my business. It is still the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
She can sense it like the weather.
Yeah.
I can feel they're like, "Ah." Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you have scaled from collecting a few thousand diapers to over 4 million or however many millions you're at now. At what
Mhm.
point did you realize you needed systems in place? And what did building those systems actually look like in practice?
It's it took having it talking about staffing, it took having staffing and bringing people on to kind of explain what we were doing. You have to have systems to train people to do the systems.
Mhm.
So I guess it was when it was just Tim and I, it was easy because we both knew what our jobs were. But then when we started bringing others in, then we had to have systems and we had to have policies, and we're working on that now diligently. I mean, the first 7 years were just drinking from the fire hose every day, right? We're collecting diapers, giving them out, raising money. That's really much, that's what we were doing. And then now we're talking about retiring at some point in the next few years. Well, now we have to have all those systems in place so that we can hand somebody a big book and say, here you go. This is how you do it. But you have to have it written down. So yeah, it takes time. But thankfully, AI is a wonderful tool for
Mhm.
some of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm blown away by just saying specifically write a policy for this for Bottoms Up Diaper Bank, and it's like miracle. It comes out
Yeah.
with,
I told
and
Michelle
then we go,
yesterday that Chat GPT has become my new best friend.
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
Have you
yeah.
figured out how
It's
to do a
it's
custom
it's
GPT, Joe?
I'm sorry.
Have you figured out how to do a custom GPT?
I don't know. What do you mean by that?
And I'm assuming you have a paid chat GPT.
Mhm.
per- d-
Mhm.
Um, on the left sidebar, if you go to the custom ones, you can create
Okay.
your own and then you upload all your documents that you have for your business
Okay.
and you can create
Mhm.
like, for instance, the one that I created is like a front desk trainer so that anytime my front desk has a question, it can ask the question to this custom GPT and it'll refer to all of my manuals and spit out
Oh,
the um, answer that I want. If you want me to show you, I
okay.
can show you.
Okay. Yeah. We have Microsoft 365. I'm
Mm,
selling Microsoft right now. Um,
I'll probably cut all
but
this part out.
there the whatever it is, the Gemini or Pilot or whatever
Mm,
their brand is.
Mhm.
And then I log into that so it keeps all everything that I've done.
mm,
Is that the same kind of thing? Is that what you mean?
no,
Okay.
maybe. I don't
All
know.
right.
I haven't used that one.
Okay. All right.
We can get together if you
Well,
Similar.
want. And I'll show you.
we'll meet one of these days
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
show me.
It'll probably be so old news by then.
That's right.
Things will advance so much.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, I'm going to skip this next question, but ask you a different one about business. I want to know about your succession plan and what you have thought about in regards to that.
Well, the
Because I would
first we've
like to
been
have
working on
one.
it.
You are
Okay.
working on it?
We have been working on it for about 5 years because our business coach said, "Hey, if something happens to you two, is this a hobby?" I mean, first of all, you have to decide: do we want this to go on forever, or is this just going to die when we die? So, we decided we want this to keep going after we're gone, whether we die or we just walk away. So that you have to answer that question first and then decide where you move from there. But we've been working on it for like 5 years, but mostly because we have to have those systems in place and who can get into the bank account, where's the money, where's the all the stuff, like that kind of thing. You have to have that. Somebody has to know that. If both of us go, if one of us goes, then the other one can muddle through. But doing that and really the last probably 3 or 4 months, I've kind of put a date on when I'm going to leave, because I don't think I we can really make a real plan if it's open ended. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tim thinks he's going to die in his chair, but I don't think that's fair to the person we're mentoring to take over.
Yeah.
She needs to have a plan. She needs
Yeah.
to know there's a plan, and we have to have a plan. So, my plan is I'm going to be 70 years old next year, and so that's the on my birthday. I think that's when I'm going to walk away.
Okay.
Given that I have all my policies and everything, they
Well,
might
you
hold me
ducks in a row.
hostage.
Are you going to
They
then
might hold
become
me
a
hostage here.
volunteer?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, maybe. Or just do whatever the heck I want to do
Yeah.
every morning.
Piddle around.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a different dynamic, and you know this, Michelle, working with your husband, it's a whole different dynamic. It is. I need Friday by myself, and we established that a few years ago that Joe needs her Friday to be alone. Whether I'm at home or doing something, that's my day. Don't mess with my day. And but we needed that because we're together all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't mean that as a bad thing, but we do everything together. And people know us as a couple,
Yeah.
and it's the way our relationship is. It's not like I hate that, but sometimes you
Yeah.
just need your alone time.
You need some
You're
space.
together with one person so much it can get on your nerves.
Can they? Huh. Yeah.
I was fortunate that in the very beginning, I warned Joe, my husband, not you. I warned
Uh-huh.
my husband that I needed a lot of alone time. So he was forewarned and didn't take offense to it.
Mhm.
He does not take offense to it when I'm like, I need to be by myself.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
like, okay, you
Yeah.
warned me that you would need that.
That's right. You told it right up front.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think Tim gets that more now that we've worked together, that he's just like, he'll say, it seems like you need to just go do that by yourself. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do.
Thank you.
I must be getting snippy at that point. So he tells me to go.
Okay. Yay. Collaboration, Joe. So I work in
Yeah.
real estate. Michelle runs her massage and wellness center, two very different businesses. How have you engaged local business owners in your mission, and what kind of partnerships have been the most creative or unexpected?
Yeah. I love it when business owners have an idea about raising money or diapers for us. And we've had quite a few. When I read over that question, I was like, wow, there have been quite a few. And just from, having paying for a band to play in a pub in Logan, Ohio and raise some money and gather some diapers. And those are fun things, right? And there's a thing in Logan called Worm Burner. It's golf park. And they do a tournament for us. It's not really golf. It's like croquet.
Hmm.
And it's a lot of fun. It's just a fun thing. And we do a little tournament. We're doing that on Saturday. And even that magnolia soap, I'm sure you both are familiar with that, but we did soap and then we were able to put our logo on that soap and
Mm.
sell it. So
Nice.
that's kind of cool. And the typical, mod pizza, Wits ice cream, where you do those type of things for that public awareness and get people aware of what you're doing. And we have a young man who did his Eagle Scout project, did a diaper drive start to finish, got businesses involved,
Aw.
and actually did an Eagle Scout project and got his Eagle Scout last
Oh, I
weekend.
love
So
that.
it's been pretty cool doing that. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, Picktown Palooza, we volunteer at their gate and, for some recognition and a little cash from them. So
Mhm.
Uh, we're we're pretty open to doing things like that. Um, but it's hard again with the staff. We bring in our volunteers to help us with those kind of things because we can't spend every weekend or evening doing those kind of things, even though we need to, and people want us there because we're the founders, right? But
Mhm.
I
yeah,
know for our grand opening of our new location, we did a small
yes,
one where if people brought in a package of diapers, they got some raffle tickets. We had
that's
some cool
right.
raffle prizes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Give ideas for the listeners.
yes,
Great.
that's
Yes, good
right.
ideas, right.
Your grand opening, bring diapers. Yes. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
forgot. I'm sorry, Michelle. I
No,
remembered
you're gonna
that.
need
And
to.
then I'm making a list and I have one
There's
of our
been so many.
volunteers is I'm sorry.
What's that?
I just said there's been so many, you can't remember them all right off the
Yeah.
top.
Well, no, well, I don't want to leave anyone out.
Right.
But one of our volunteers called last week and she said this it's a brewery, it's like for lack of a better word, here in Lancaster, Double Edge is what it's called. And they asked her to be a guest bartender and the proceeds from what she makes, she's going to give to Bottoms Up.
Oh,
So
cool.
that was a kind of a cool one too.
Yeah.
We've never had a guest bartender, so this is a new thing.
Oh, it's a first. Very
Yeah,
good.
Good thing all it
So
is pouring beers. I wouldn't be able to
yeah.
mix drinks.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
speaking of all that, if a business owner is listening right now and they wanted to host a diaper drive, what would that process look like?
They could reach out to me. They can go to our website at bottomsup.life, LIFE, and we have it at the top. It says do a diaper drive or something along those lines.
Mhm.
Sign up, and there's a form right on our site. They can sign up, and then we have a volunteer that'll reach out and help them, walk them through it, and give them advice and really it's for anybody doing a diaper drive, the shorter the better, right? You
Mm.
like Michelle was saying, come into my event.
Yeah.
It's this amount of time. This is when you bring the diapers. You leave it go. If it's open ended, people don't
Yeah.
people don't remember that.
Yeah.
And especially with a business, it's a lot harder because if you're going to buy a car or the groceries, or not so much groceries, I guess, but if you're going into a store for a specific reason, you're not thinking, let me take diapers with me,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So it's a little more difficult with a business to do a diaper drive. So it has to be very intentional, like Michelle was saying, like, oh, for a grand opening, or you can get entered in this if you're bringing a box of diapers, or you get a free something.
Yeah,
Because I mean, in churches and schools, you kind of have a captive audience and they're there for the same reason. And with the business, it's a little more difficult. You really have to think about it.
yeah. Speaking of the diaper drive, is it the entire month of May? That's just, like, less than a month away.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You're scaring me. Uh,
You have your
What's
big
the
kickoff event next week, right?
yes, we have one in Columbus next week, and then the following week we have one in Lancaster. So, yeah, we have those two coming up, and then right into the diaper drive, and that is the whole month of May.
Okay.
And they can do it for any time. They can do it for, and I always encourage people, just do it for a week. Just hit it hard for a week, and then be done. Because if you say it's the whole month, yeah, it'll be disappointing for you. So
Okay, yes. All right. Joe, you started with a
yes.
small car full of diapers and a big heart. You've now touched the lives of tens of thousands of Ohio families. So we want to end with this, and we want you to really sit in it. If every business owner, realtor, and wellness professional in Ohio did just one thing this month to support Bottoms Up, what would you ask them to do? And what would that one thing collectively mean for the babies of Ohio? Don't hold back. This is your moment.
Well, I thought about this because that was a great question. And if everyone listening could donate $25.50, that would provide 150 diapers, which would help 3 families. So it's a small ask, but if
Yeah.
somebody has 25,500, I will take that as well. But, it people think it has to be a big amount, and, they could do it monthly, and what is that for an entire year? $300 for an entire year? I
Yeah.
should know the math. But it's not a big amount, and it doesn't have to be a big amount because collectively we can gather all the small donations. But I just like for people to know it doesn't have to be the big thing. It doesn't have to be that big amount. It can be a small amount every month, and it sure helps. Sure helps us do what we do.
Yeah,
Awesome. Your
doing what
website
you
is bottomsup.life?
Life, Life. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
All
bottoms
right.
up
So if
dot
they want to get a hold of you. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the Cosmos and
Absolutely.
Commerce mission right there. Commerce with a conscience and community that shows up. Jo Welsh, thank you for building something that reminds all of us why we do what we do. Listeners, head to bottomsup.life, host a drive, make a donation of $25.50 minimum, or just go buy a pack of diapers today. See you on the next episode.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Joe, for
Awesome.
being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was